All right, y'all. I don't think a whole lot of people understand how important Broad Street is in everything in the South. Because Broad Street has a lot of meaning. Like, seriously. One thing about Broad Street is that it has a lot to do with what happened with the Civil War era. The Civil War era was a pretty big part of history. I would say so myself. So, what we're going to be walking around here, this corner that we're going to walk past, is going to be straight access to Broad Street. Broad Street had a lot to do with the Civil War era, including with the Gadsden Purchase. You know, Gadsden Purchase was in the year of 1853 from the year 1854. The most interesting part about that was that this entire Broad Street was here during that time. What the Gadsden Purchase was, it was an agreement between the U.S. and Mexico. This was dated after the Mexican-American War. It was meant to provide land necessary for transcontinental traveling, which means they were trying to figure out how they could connect railroads from Mexico to the United States, or to southern United States. So basically, all the southern states and such, like Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, even Louisiana. It was very interesting. So, but when things went left, the Mexican government, demanded mandatory. They demanded a whole lot. Now, it was monetary compensation. They were agreed to get monetary compensation from the United States government. It was very interesting because what we know about history is that, especially American history, is that we kind of took, So here's the thing. See, the Mexican government wanted compensation from all the native attacks that they were getting during the time. But the American government was saying, hold on, we didn't agree to that. They didn't agree to the native attacks. They agreed from any other attacks, which is interesting. So it says here that under the treaty, the United States had agreed to protect Mexico from such attacks, not specifically native attacks. Okay. So that was interesting. And then from that, the cause of that, right? They had not agreed financially as well. So that was interesting because they thought they were going to get financially compensated from the attacks, but no, the United States didn't agree on that. So tensions between the U.S. government and the Mexican government escalated. And actually, what's interesting is that I'm on Broad Street all day long. This is how busy it used to be. It's not as busy as it used to be. Trust me, it's not. People think that this is busy. No, it's pretty light. Back in the day, this was popping. Like, and here's the thing: where I came from Arizona, downtowns in Arizona were way more expanded. This is kind of small in a way, but it is a small town. So back to the Gadsden Purchase. So it made trade deals during the time very difficult to process. So what was interesting about it was that it made it complicated to try to do the transcontinental railroads. So therefore, it says here that it was the only viable route through Mexican territory. So that's why they were having such a hard time. And now through that time, in 1847, we tried to buy land from them, and the Mexican government was like, no, that's not going to happen, because they wanted something in return. I'm also like, this is so cool because it's right near everything. Because during this time, Mexico was one step ahead of us. It was interesting. Mexico was one step ahead of us when we were getting scared. we were getting scared a little bit by the Mexican government, which doesn't surprise us. So it made a good deal during that time. So here's the thing. Now, it says here what I'm reading. Of course, I did some very thorough research about this. So when we tried to buy land from Mexico, it was interesting. So when we try to buy land, and I don't know how to pronounce the real name of it because it's in the Spanish language, but I will say that it says here that North America, well, it's it's really now North America since we have it now because we kind of took it away from them. But once that happened, it provided connections from the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, which was interesting. But once Mexico found out, it was very interesting. They were like, "Hey, this is not supposed to happen, right? This is not supposed to happen." So when Mexico found out, they said they had grants that basically said that, "Oh yeah, this land is ours," right? So at that point, they declared something different. So, and what I mean by that is that Mexico evicted us. Mexico evicted us from the land, which every right they have, right? So, in response to that, it angered investors. Therefore, it angered our relationship with Mexico. Very, very interesting. Now, this is where we get a little fishy in history. So, this is where the U.S. comes into play. And president during the time, Franklin Pierce, sent our boy James Gadsden. So this is where we get the name Gadsden from. Gadsden came from the name of the guy named James Gadsden. James Gadsden went to renegotiate with Mexico's president, which is interesting. Now, when he went to renegotiate with the Mexican president, it set off a few flags. Now, in response to that, this was September 25th, 1853. September 25th of 1853 was interesting because it set forth the path of where we get to solve this Gadsden Purchase. So, it says that by doing so, and during that time, hold on, let me find it. Therefore, we discussed with the Secretary of The Secretary of State instructed the Secretary of State of the United States during the time instructed James Gadsden to change and rearrange the agreement, which this probably was not going to end well at first. But as we see here, the Gadsden Purchase, like when it was renegotiated, right? Everything that was connected to the original Gadsden purchase, and then so the obligations of the Native American attacks and monetary claims from both the U.S. and Mexico. So that would basically kind of solve the situation from all the Native attacks and all of the chaos that was happening during the time. So in that process, also, we also sent Christopher Ward. He was an agent for the U.S. investors, which was interesting. And in the process, it actually broke up. It broke up the deal into smaller land deals, which was interesting. Now, if we say that was a bad thing or a good thing, it actually kind of, in a way, was a good thing, right? Because, in a way, if we made smaller land deals, we could probably get more negotiation out of it. But here's the thing about Christopher Ward. Christopher Ward lied on behalf of the United States government, of course. And if you think about it, there was a stipulation as well. He put a stipulation that upon the U.S. they were going to pay and prevent native attacks, which was interesting. I personally, I don't think they put that up to date or put that up to par, really. But here's the thing. He lied and made claims that weren't true of what Ward said or of what Gadsden said. So it was very interesting on how this situation played out. It basically said that they would also prevent, well, in this process, he lied, made claims that weren't true, and didn't follow the instructions that President Franklin Pierce told him to. So they went to Santa Ana, New Mexico, or not New Mexico, Mexico, and they were going to sell a larger portion of the deal, which was interesting. And even in our history, money talks. Even in our history, money talks. Very interesting. Now, in this process, this is going to be interesting. They listened because they needed money. Mexico listened because they needed money. Okay? So they renegotiated, and then there was a stipulation upon, like I was saying earlier, there was a stipulation. They would be compensated and were going to be paid to prevent native attacks, which was interesting. Now, upon that, Mexico had nothing to do with the native attacks, nor did hold on. Now that, which is interesting. Now that I say that, it's interesting because it goes back and forth. Because with this deal, it increased strife between the U.S. and American governments, or U.S. and Mexican government, which was interesting because that was during also wartime. Now, the deal increased, therefore resulting in the U.S. Senate ratifying and revised the version of the treaty, which basically they went back to the old treaty again. And on April 25th of 1854, which lowered the price during the time, they had lowered the price for Mexico to pay, which was interesting because the U.S. moved tensions or removed mentions of Native American attacks and private claims. Therefore, the president signed it in 1854, June 8th to be exact. He signed it back in June 8th, 1854. So what that meant was that after the Gadsden Purchase, this is very interesting, after the Gadsden Purchase, more tensions grew. You would think that after they made the purchase, that the Gadsden Purchase would be over, the tensions would be lowered, not increased, right? But on the contrary, it says that it gained a new border disputes that also run into present day history. So it didn't just create more tensions between countries and governments, but it also created the tension and the problems that we currently have today in our border. Something very, very interesting we got to talk about. But despite of the southern border ideas and thoughts about everything else, it would give us the idea to expand into Mexican territories and also, expand more on U.S. territories. So that's a little bit of the Gadsden Purchase, you guys. It's a little bit on the Gadsden Purchase. Now, mind you, we were just on Broad Street. Now we're on Walnut. Or actually, we're on First. But, it's interesting. Back in the 1950s, they actually named Gadsden. They had a slogan for Gadsden. It's called the City of Champions. And I believe that. I believe that this is a city of champions. But my question, what happened to it? I mean, I know things are dilapidated and things get old, but what happened to also improving and growing and building, I never quite understood why people don't like to build or expand or whatever the case may be on how to improve. But going along with that, that was during Civil War era. That was during wartime era. Now let's go a little bit further. Let's go a little bit further into the 60s, shall we? Now everybody knows what happened in the 60s down here. Well, one thing that we have to know is that Martin Luther King actually walked down Broad Street. Martin Luther King Jr. actually walked down Broad Street. He marched with people. Look at this. In the 1960s, back in the 60s, Gadsden's, by the way, back in the 60s, that was when Gadsden's population was at its peak, which is amazing. And a whole lot of people don't like to talk about it. But that's a huge part of history. In the 60s, that's when all, that was when actually, that was still around where all the factories were still around and people had good paying jobs. The economy was thriving, and so was the population. So it was interesting. So a lot of our history on Broad Street is in downtown Gadsden. So it's also the site of which Martin Luther King also marched. He marched with commercial businesses, owners, investors. It was also the site of the civil rights demonstrations, because there was a lot that happened here. Civil rights demonstrations, marches, etc. Because they lynched people here. And I know like a lot of people like to make fun of that, but it ain't funny. It's a good part of our history, and it's not taught in our schools. That's the problem. It's not taught in our schools, guys. And sometimes what we have to understand is that our history is not pretty. But one thing that's for sure is that along with the site of Martin Luther King Jr. marching here, he also marched with 450 protesters and people that were standing up for the movement. And there were also residents of homes here as well. So that's a little bit of history of downtown Broad Street. Downtown Gadsden has a lot of history that a whole lot of people don't like to talk about. And that's why you have my generation that doesn't want to teach or learn anything about history. There's a reason why people don't want to listen to history, because they don't want to believe that our history is not that pretty. But the more that we don't learn about our history and the more that we don't know about our history, that means we're doomed to repeat it. We're doomed to repeat it if we don't learn about it and if we don't learn from it. Because, like I said, this place used to be popping back in the day. I'm dead serious. This is a good day, right? This is a pretty good day for people to be out. It's nice, not too hot, not too cold. But I'm telling you, there was a lot more people here. But my question for a whole lot of people is, why did we let this go down the drain? Why did we let this go dormant? Why did we let things go? I'm not going to say go to waste, but there's so much potential here that, I don't know why people don't build off of it. There's so many things that we could build off this place, but nobody wants to. The infrastructure is great. The place is fine. Literally, people want to talk about there's crime here. There's really no crime here. What really is the problem is that we have here in the city of Gadsden, we have one of the lowest education rates here. We have the lowest literacy rate. We have the lowest literacy rate here. So, and that's with reading, writing, but a lot of it has to do with just basic learning. We got to learn and teach these kids how to read. A lot of these kids here don't know how to read. And I remember when I didn't know how to read. It was tough. But being in this world that's always growing at a fast pace, if you're not learning, you're gonna get left behind. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to leave no one behind. No one should be left behind, right? So we got to really think about what are we trying to do to move forward in the future and to grow. Because downtown Broad, it was a sight to see. A whole lot of stuff happened in history. It ain't pretty, but it's something that we need to be learning. Because if we don't learn it again, we're doomed to repeat it. And trust me, this is a nice place to be. I'm down here every single weekend. And it's nice. It's a nice place to be. You know what I mean? And I'm probably getting so many faces looked at me like, right, so I don't care. This is something that people need to know. This is strictly for educational purposes. Because our schools won't teach them. If our schools won't teach them, who's going to teach them? That's all I got to say. Because people are going to look at me and, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're disturbing the peace. I'm not disturbing the peace. I'm not disturbing nobody. When someone feels disturbed, they don't like what I'm saying. So I don't care what people think about me. This is something that everybody needs to know. This is for educational purposes, like I said. And again, why did we let it go to waste? I don't want to say that, but it's kind of how it is. Because back in the day, this used to be all filled with people and businesses, and the economy was thriving. But we somewhat let it go. We somewhat let it go, and it's kind of sad. Kind of sad that we let it run down like this. Because I mean, right now it's cool, and I'm gonna show more of it. I'm gonna show more Broad Street once I drive down there. But one thing I don't understand is why did we let it like run down? Why did we let all the businesses close when people were making money? Now, mind you, they might have not had as big of margins like they used to, but I know for a fact that people were making money. But it comes down to choices, and it comes down to really putting in the work. And I feel like once all the factories, like the mill paperboard, Goodyear, the steel plant, like when all those factories shut down, I think the economy dwindled, and then people gave up. But that's one thing that we can't do is we can't give up, guys. We got to keep working. We got to keep pushing. No matter how many times things get hard, no matter how many things get difficult and everything, we should not give up on trying to build and trying to grow as a nation. So I really want people to understand that this was something that, to me, I took a whole lot of value in, and I'm gonna show y'all more of this place. I'm gonna drive around and I'm gonna show y'all more of this place because I don't want to walk around with just my phone and just pretend like I'm filming anybody, because I don't want people to get misinterpreted of what I'm doing, because I'm strictly doing this again for internet purposes. Okay, so this is something that we should be thinking about, you guys, and I hope that you guys took some value into this video, because I'm gonna be working a long time on this video, trust me. But I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna quit talking and quit rambling and quit giving y'all information that y'all already know now. But I'm gonna show y'all downtown Broad Street, and I'm gonna show y'all how much it has changed, but also how much potential it has. All right. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the content and enjoyed the little history lesson that you guys got. And of course, if you guys want to go look up any of this information, go ahead and go look it up yourself. I'll leave the links down where I read the articles and where I got my information from. But it's something that we need to all be thinking about. It's something that we need to remember, because something that we need to know about our history is that it ain't pretty, but dang, we can learn a whole lot from it so we don't make the same mistakes again. And I think that's what's really more important, is that, are we going to make the same mistakes again to repeat history, or are we going to learn about history enough to where we don't repeat history and we can move forward and make better history, because history is his story. So what story are you going to tell? Are you going to tell the story of how we repeated history, or are we going to tell the story of how we made history? Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you guys got something from it. Because again, one thing that I realized when I moved here, and something that my dad told me, was that people don't understand how much blood is on the soil, and that got my perspective way open, man. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud that I'm able to recognize that, dang, the land that we're sitting on, the land that we live on, has so much bloodshed. We need to be thanking God, and we need to be asking for forgiveness, and we need to be and truly you know what I don't like is when people think that something is theirs, it's theirs, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but anything on this land is not ours, because I'll tell you why. Because we took it from the Indians. We took this land from the Indians. I don't know if anybody has read history up on that, but we took it from the Indians. So essentially, we took the Indians' land, claim that it's ours, and then don't give Indians anything. And that says a lot about the United States, right? But it also says a whole lot about what we should be doing to honor that. For example, the Washington Redskins, not the Washington Commanders. All this woke crap that they're saying, oh, it's racist. No, it's not. It's not racist to Indian people because we took their dang land. We took their land and killed their people in the process. So I think naming some teams and some sports teams after them, I think they'll be honored to do that. They're honored when they see the Washington Redskins, you know, when they see the like and all the sports teams that, you know, or the Chicago, or let me know if I'm getting the team wrong, but Chicago Indians, I believe. I don't know. The Indians, it's the baseball team as well. So like we got to stop this woke crap because I'm sorry, unless if like, and I don't even think if Indians get upset, I'm sorry, but how are you getting upset about us honoring your people when we took your land from your people? Like that's something that I don't quite get because I'm sorry, this social construct of racism, it kind of doesn't exist. Because if you remember correctly, the video that I posted on my Instagram, the guy said that race is a social construct, which means it doesn't exist. So therefore, why are people getting so offended? I don't get it. I truly don't get it. That's just me. But let me stop rambling and everything, and let me just show y'all downtown Broad Street. But again, I appreciate y'all for all the content. I appreciate you guys for all of the support, and I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Seriously, I really do hope that you guys enjoy the video because and enjoy the content because I'm saying this is a lot of stuff that we could learn from and how we can build off of to not make the same mistakes again. Because right now we're such a dysfunctional society right now that no matter where you come from, who you are, how much money you have, you know, what race or whatever the case may be, our nation is so divided, and we need to come together, figure out ideas so we can build and scale off of them, so we can make this world a better place. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna show y'all just a few pictures of downtown, and then we'll get on with the video and everything, and I'll end it off when I get back at the house and stuff like that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the content once again. Of course, you know, I'm sorry if the audio was too, loud and stuff like that. Hopefully it wasn't a burden, okay? So, but I just wanted to make sure you guys got a little bit of background in the content. Of course, I try to do my best to try to give you all the best authentic content, of course. And sometimes I feel like I'm in the wrong place to do vlogging and stuff like that. But I know for a fact that this really taught me a lot. And of course, I hope it taught you guys something about history as well. And also, what I didn't get to mention was that all of this stuff that I was learning about the history of Gadsden, I mean, this was something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And I just want to say, any of the mentions of the people that were involved with the story and involved with history, they're no longer with us, unfortunately. May God rest their souls. But of course, knowing about our history will help us prevent repeating history. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand and know that this was strictly for educational purposes, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. But and I also hope that you enjoyed just like a video of me showing around downtown and stuff like that while I'm driving and stuff like that. But here's the thing, I couldn't do it long because I didn't want to get pulled over I didn't want anybody to think that I was filming them without their permission. It's like I know it's a public place, but like still there's some people that are just Karens. I don't want to put them on blast, but like there's some people out there that just don't even care if you're not even filming them. They just don't want you filming, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of like my thing that I do, so I can't really help it. But
at the same time, I try to be respectful and I try to give y'all authentic, real content. And here's the thing, I try not to censor myself, but I also don't want to be in every video like cursing. Every other word is a curse word. So, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys stay tuned for more content. And of course, I hope that you guys are feeling blessed and encouraged, and stay warm, stay blessed, stay healthy. And of course, make sure you guys click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any new videos and any new content. And of course, I hope that you guys leave a like and comment on the video, and hopefully give me some feedback on the video, and give me some stuff that I need to work on. Give me feedback. I love feedback all the time. So, but I appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you guys leave a like and comment on the video, and make sure you guys subscribe down to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you guys subscribe down to the channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any new videos and any new content that's uploaded to the channel. I appreciate all you guys. Have a great day. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend.